All right. So welcome everyone. We're going to be continuing our yeah, that's true. If you're eating, that's okay. We don't need to watch you eat. But if you're not eating and you're comfortable with turning on your camera, I love that. Um we're going to continue our conversation about the Apostles' Creed today, and we're going to be talking about the first article, which is about creation. So, okay, cool. Let me share my screen because I do have a presentation. I like to have fun with Canva. Anybody else use Canva for anything? Projects? Yeah, Alex, Vincent. Oh, good. Awesome. That's what I like to see. All right. All right, so exploring Article 1, going with the nature theme. I love snow. Who else loves snow? Raise your hand or give me a thumbs up, something. All right, cool. I kind of don't think that we've had enough snow yet this year. So I know some people will disagree with me and even say, you know, how like don't jinx it, but it's just a fact. So, all right. So, this is the first article of the Creed. So it's all about creation. So, the first article of the Apostles' Creed. Let's read this together. You don't have to unmute yourself. Just read along with me. I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. So if we were in person, we would open our student books right now and we would read Martin Luther's explanation of this from the Small Catechism of the first article. So you can see he's peeking down from down here, being nosy. And then does anybody remember what this symbol, this circle, is all about?
Yeah, it's to link the headphones.
Whoop, if you're talking to someone else, please mute yourself.
That I don't think you muted.
Who remembers what this symbol is down here? The circle with the flower and the heart? No? All right, it's a Luther seal. I gave you a bookmark with it on it back in the fall when we were talking about Martin Luther. That's okay. That was a long time ago. So it was a whole, it was another year, a different time. So is there anyone who wants to read this out loud for us? Just go ahead and unmute yourself and say me, because I can't see everybody. Danielle, is that you? You wanted to read it? Or Nathaniel?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
What does this mean? I believe that God has made me and all creatures, that he has given me my body and soul, eyes, ears, and all of my members, my reason and all my senses, and still takes care of them. He also gives me clothing and shoes, food and drink, house and home, spouse and children, land, animals, and all I have. He richly and daily provides me with all that I need to support this body and life. He defends me against all danger and guards and protects me from all evil. All this he does only out of fatherly divine goodness and mercy, without any merit or worthiness in me. For all this, it is my duty to thank and praise, serve and obey him. This is most certainly true.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much, Danielle. So this was Martin Luther's explanation. And remember, Martin Luther lived over 500 years ago. So if this sounds a little like old-timey or not applicable to you or even to me, that's okay. That's okay. But I think what he's getting at is that God created everything. If we remember back to the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, when it tells the story of creation, there's actually two accounts of creation. And, we believe that God has created everything. And so therefore God has created, what humans are able to create as well, like food and drink and relationships. So like those, spouse, children, land, animals, if you're not married, which I think, all of the students and myself are not. So, just think about the people that you have important relationships with, your parents, your siblings, your grandparents, your friends, all of those relationships are gifts from God too. And even your relationship with your pets, your beloved pets. And it's our duty to thank and praise. So, we are to give thanks for everything that God has given us. So we're talking about the creation story, but like that is so long and we just don't have the time or the patience to read it all. So I'm going to show you a fun video instead. Okay. And if this is a little too little kiddish, well, just go with it. It's fun to be a little kid.
Of the Bible. Creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was empty, formless, and dark. But the Spirit of God was there. On the first day, God said, "Let there be light." And God saw that the light was good. Then He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness night. On the second day, God said, "Let there be a space to separate the waters of the heavens from the waters of the earth." God called the space sky. On the third day, God said, "Let the waters beneath the sky flow together into one place, so dry ground may appear." God called the dry ground land and the waters seas, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land sprout with every sort of plant and tree." And God saw that it was good. On the fourth day, God said, "Let lights appear in the sky to separate the day from the night." God made two great lights, the sun for the day and the moon for the night. He also made the stars. God set these lights in the sky to light the earth, and God saw that it was good. On the fifth day, God said, "Let the waters swarm with fish and other life. Let the skies be filled with birds of every kind." And God saw that it was good. On the sixth day, God said, "Let the earth make every sort of animal." God made all sorts of wild animals, livestock, and small animals, each able to have babies of the same kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, to be like us." So God created man in His own image. He formed man from the dust of the ground. He breathed the breath of life into man, and a man became alive. Then He saw that the man needed a helper, so God put man into a deep sleep, and while he slept, God took one of the man's ribs. Then God made a woman from the rib and brought her to the man.
Hello. Hi.
Then God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and rule over it. Rule over the fish in the sea,
Hello, Will.
the birds in the sky,
Hello, bird.
and all the animals that scurry along the ground." Then God said, Look, I have given you every plant throughout the earth, and all the fruit trees for your food, and I have given you every green plant as food for all the animals. Then God looked over all he had made, and he saw that it was very good. So the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was done. So on the seventh day, God rested from all his work, and God blessed the seventh day and said it was holy.
All right.
I'm Dr. J.
All right. So God created everything and called it good. And God still believes that God's creation is good and that we are part of that good creation. And, you know, what happens after the garden, you know, the people, Adam and Eve, break the rules and sin enters the world. And so we know that there's brokenness in the world too. But we also are continually creating. God is still creating things. So we are called to be God's co-creators. So, you know, we are, you know, using our minds and our hearts to create better lives for ourselves and those around us, out of the gifts that each of us have. Each of you have God-given gifts that can be used in the world. So let me go back to my presentation here, and boy, you would think I would be faster at this now after a couple years, but thanks for the hearts. I appreciate the hearts. All right. So, would anybody like to pray for us this evening? I would love a volunteer to pray if you're willing to do that. So you're going to have to speak up if you're willing, because I can't see everybody. Alex, who else is raising their hands? All right, Alex, that would be great. Thank you so much. Go ahead and unmute and pray for us. Thank you.
Okay. Dear God, this evening I want to thank you for letting us all have the opportunity to be here together and to learn about you and help us strengthen our faith for you. I want to ask you that we can hopefully get back into the church building soon for our confirmation, so that we don't have to deal with Zoom anymore. And I just want to praise you for, even though a lot of things have been tough in the world recently, you still keep everything great. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And I want to thank you guys for, you know, I know, you know, online isn't as good as in person, but I appreciate your cooperation during this time. And I look forward to being back in person too. So, all right. So, you know, we've been talking about creation, and so the lesson focus today is God's creative work in the world is still continuing. God is still creating things. What is something that you can think of that God has created lately? Lately could be the last like 100 years, could be this morning. What do you think? Could be in the chat, could unmute yourself. Something, Landry.
So sorry if you hear the background. We're trying to get they're trying to get our dog in a house. But
Oh, that's okay.
yesterday after we had a little trip, our plant was kind of dying because it didn't have any water. But now today it it grew again.
Awesome. Yes, I that's awesome. Yes, God is continually creating, and sometimes like when we leave for a trip, our plants are like "Woo." But then with a TLC, we're able to get them back to health. So that's a great example. That's a great example. One thing I was thinking about is just that, on Saturday it was flurrying. It wasn't quite, the snow wasn't sticking, but it was, there's flurries for like a couple hours, and that was beautiful. That was God creating as well. So, any other examples? If you think of something, you can put it in the chat, but just know that I'm going to ask some more questions coming up, okay? Oops. Oh, here we go. All right, so the big question is, how do we know God is still creating stuff today? Landry gave us a great example. All right, so keywords. Do we have a volunteer to just read these for us? Landry, thanks.
Create, to make from nothing. Creation, all that exists, all that God has made. Sustain, to keep, preserve, and maintain.
This is pronounced ex nihilo.
Okay. Ex nihilo, Latin for out of nothing. Stewardship, responsibility for care and proper use.
Thank you. Thank you. So why do you think that, ex nihilo, out of nothing, is part of a lesson on creation? If you think back to the video or the Bible, God created everything out of nothing. So, in the Bible, it says it was a formless void. There was nothing. And then God made something out of nothing. And I think that's a sign of creation. When we have despair, when we think like there's no good in the world, or we're so frustrated that, nothing might be seeming to change, or, a personal situation in our lives doesn't seem to be shifting, God can create something out of seemingly nothing. So, all right, so our confirmation connection, just a reminder on this is when all of you are confirmed, you're going to be saying, I do, and I ask God to help me with each of these. And so tonight the focus is to live among God's faithful people. One of the greatest creations of God is us, and we're also called to care for creation. That means we have to care for one another and for the people that God has put in our lives, and definitely the people who are in need, in any kind of need. So, all right, so I want to talk about care for creation. So I'm just going to stop sharing because I want to see your faces. So can you think, like, when we talk about care for creation, another word for that is stewardship. Who recognizes the word stewardship? Just raise your hand if you recognize that. Typically, when we're talking about stewardship in church, we're talking about money. Now, money is important, and it's important to share the money that we've been able to make because of the gifts that we're sharing in the world. But there's other things that we are called to be good caretakers of too. So I know every one of you has examples of how we can take care of the earth. So I'm just wondering what you see our church doing to care for the earth, to be good stewards of creation. You can put it in the chat. You can raise your hand. Alex?
Like our church, like we have a lot of like missions and stuff about like it's all these different things to just help people and help the world.
Yeah. Yes. If we are God's good creation, yes, stewarding each other. Yeah, for sure. Danielle?
We raise money and like do like the food pantry and stuff like that.
We feed the hungry. Yep. Landry?
We do God's work our hands. We do a lot of hands-on activities with the community and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm thinking about one, God's work our hands. We made food, we made lunches, and we passed them out to people downtown. That was really fun. We got something good about our church is we buy food for the homeless. Yes, which all of you did with us last year. So now I want you to think about specifically care for creation as in like nature. How do we, well, what are some of the problems with natural creation right now? What are some of the struggles? I know you guys know this stuff. Alex?
Just climate change in general.
Yes. Yes. Climate change in general, for sure. For sure. Yes. Yes. And cutting down the Amazon forest. Yes. Yes. If you want to put something in the chat, that would be good and fine. Vincent.
Garbage.
Garbage. Yeah, there's a lot of garbage. In fact, we used to send our garbage to China or other places, and they don't want our garbage. They don't want our recycling because their places are getting filled as well. And there's a lot of things going on. What else? Littering, ocean pollution, air pollution. Yes, very good. So I want to go back to my question. What do you think our church does to help with caring for the natural world? What do you see? I mean, we do like to help each other and strengthen each other. But I'm curious what you guys see that we're doing before I tell you. Planting trees and flowers. Yes, we're big into like, caring for our land, the land that we own and inhabit and use. What else? Another one is recycling. I mean, yep, good. Thank you, Audrey. Recycling, picking up garbage. Yes, that's been a God's work our hands thing. Another, it's not like yes, everywhere there is recycling bins, but we also do things like pick up, like collect cans. People donate their empty soda cans to us, and we get the money from it for high school things. But we are also making sure that those cans get recycled. Yes, we do try to use less plastic things, and actually one plastic thing that we use every Sunday are the little communion cups. And those have to be recycled in a special way. And we have a member, his name is John Burgie, and he is really passionate about creation care. And so he comes and picks up just the bag of those little cups and takes it to a special place that recycles just that. So what else? Let me ask you this question then. What are some things that you do to help take care of God's good creation? It could be at your home, it could be at school. Alex?
Last year at my school we had like it wasn't like a fundraiser, but like if our school like picked up like 30 pounds of trash outside of school, like we would like get like a free casual day. Like we wear a uniform every day. So that was pretty awesome. And I
Yeah.
picked up like 6 pounds of that.
Nice. Nice. That's a fun incentive. Cool. I'm seeing some things in the comments. Pick up trash, not littering, saving water, all important things, not wasting it. Yes, yes. I know one thing that I'm trying to do is like keep my heat lower than I usually do, not only for the good of the environment, but for the good of my bank account because energy prices are going up. So yeah, very good, very good. All right. Anything else? Recycling, yes, very important. All these things are really important. I think it's important for all people to take switching to electric. Awesome. You know, some churches have solar panels. I think that's amazing. And some houses have solar panels. Like that's wonderful. I'm always happy to see windmills that supply wind powered air. You know, that's part of our call as Christians to, you know, really pay attention to the world around us and do something about these problems. Hydropower, yes, absolutely. Not using gases as much, absolutely. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for brainstorming about that. Last week I said I was going to talk about Lutherdale, and I really want to do that. So just give me a few extra minutes here. Okay, so Lutherdale is awesome. I know that not many of you, but like several of you have already been to Lutherdale for a retreat or camp, or, you know, maybe just been there for the day. So you already know that it's pretty awesome. But one of the things that we do as part of the confirmation program is that we invite those who are currently in 7th grade to go to confirmation camp. And we believe in this so much that, you know, we pay for it. We pay for half of it and parents pay for the other half. And your parents have already been, the parents of current 7th graders have already been notified as to the details, how to register, how to pay, what they need to pay now, what they need to pay later, that kind of thing. But, you know, I wanted to just tell you guys a little bit more about why I think this is important. It's a really fun opportunity to experience the church in a different way. Why is it 7th grade only? It's so everybody gets the chance when they're in 7th grade. So like next year, you'll have an opportunity to do that. You know, there's things like every day there's Bible study, and it's not just sitting around with the Bible, or even like confirmation, which I know you guys are mostly listening to me, hopefully. You know, it's interactive. And then there's all kinds of fun camp activities. As you can see, there's the waterfront, so there's swimming, they have pontoon boats, they have a jumping pad out in the lake you can jump off of. They have a zip line, so like you climb this tower and then you zip down. These are some of the kids who have gone in the past. You can see Landry's sister, who's now a freshman in college. All these kids are freshmen in college. It's crazy. I have more pictures. Where are they? Oh, there we are. So all the staff are college students who are so much fun. And, you know, we've had students from our church who have gone on to be camp counselors at Lutherdale, and it's just a really fun experience. They, you know, you stay in cabins, and, you know, because of COVID, the last few summers, pretty much like you do everything in your cabin group. And because it's other people from our church, you end up in the same cabins as the other people from our church. So, you know, you'll already know some people, but then you'll also get to meet people from, you know, different parts of southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois, different Lutherans who are also in confirmation camp or confirmation programs at their church, because that week is just confirmation camp. So just students who are going through confirmation. So anything I'm missing? Questions, comments? Yes, it is over 7 o'clock. I asked for just a few minutes. Thank you. All right, more announcements. Keep doing those worship response forms. I haven't been seeing many come in the last few weeks, so keep on top of those. This is the chart to just remember what your grades requirements are. So you do have until August 31st to do all of these, but stay on top of them because you don't want to end up in August and not have all of your requirements. The Shabbat service. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to experience Jewish worship. We did change the date until February 25th because the synagogue is worshiping online. And let's see. All right, now you can go. Thank you so much for giving me the extra 4 minutes. 6th grade boys, you're going to be with me again. So go forth in peace.
Bye.
Bye.